Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to upload in a while. Tried making a deeper quadratics video and the camera quality was really bad, so I couldn't really be able to do that. However, I am gonna make it again with a much better camera quality, and it would just look much better than what initially was. And that video is really interesting, and I yeah. So anyway, so based on the title, this is something that you need to know in pre-algebra. This is actually really important because in pre-algebra and as you move on in math, you're gonna be working with exponents, and you need to know like exponential terms, right? So exponents, right? And if you don't know what exponents are, I think I say spell it. Probably okay. If I didn't spell it right, yeah. Exponents are basically you multiply. So here, let's say we have 2 to the third, right? The 2 is the base, right? And then this is how many times we multiply the base by itself. So the 3 stands for that we multiply the base 3 times by itself. And then this equals, 4 times 8. Sorry. 4 times 2 is 8. So that means 2 to the third equals 8. That's basically what exponents are. So now, if you already know exponents, I'm just here to learn how to multiply and divide and exponents, yada yada. That is now we're gonna get into that now. So let's say we have right. So now, whenever we're having a term like this, not a term, an expression such as this, some people who don't know these rules, they would just say, "Oh look, 9." They would actually solve this, right? There's actually a much easier way to just simplify this. Whenever you're multiplying exponents with the same base, right? The same base, you hear me? You can only technically do this with if you have the same base. Or you can only do this rule if you have the same base, and the base is 3, right? So that means this would have to equal, so let's see. So now we're going to put 3, we're going to put the base, and then you see these two exponents? There's 2 and a 6. Whenever you're multiplying, you're just going to add them up. And that equals 8. So that means this is equal to 3 to the 8th. That's basically what that is. Now, whenever dividing exponents, so you also need the same base as well. Let's say divided by 5 to the second. You're going to put the base, the same base, and then most probably would figure this out. You will use, instead of adding, you're going to subtract. So this is equal 7 minus 2, which is equal to 5 to the 5th power. Always need that same base as well. Here's some stuff might get a little tricky. Here's some stuff might get a little trickier. Assume that you have 3 squared and then 3. So that means you're squaring this. You're doing 3 times 3 is 9, and then you're doing 9 times 9 times 9, right? There's also a really easy way. You're gonna put the base. There's only one base here now, and then if we have these parentheses in this type of orderly fashion, we're gonna multiply them actually, which equals 6. So it's 3 to the 6, right? Is your answer. So here's where stuff might get a little tricky. So if you don't know scientific notation, here's what it is. So let's just say we have 7,800, right? And we will run through this in scientific notation. The way that would work is scientific notation is any number between 1 to 10 and it's a power of 10. Okay? Has to be a power of 10. It could be a negative x or positive x. Doesn't really matter. So 1 to 10, right? So now 7,800. Well, let's see. This is a decimal point. We can move it 1, 2, 3. 7.8. Right? Times 10. Well, since we're moving back, right? You have to multiply this times 10 to the third. Or 1,000, right? If we multiply this by 1,000, we'll just multiply. All we'll do is move this. All we'll do is multiply this. All we'll do is move the storage. Not the storage. Multiply this decimal point 1, 2, 3, and I'll get a 7,800 as well. That is basically what scientific notation is. So assume you would have a problem like this. Sorry. 11 times okay, 11 times, and then we can have 12 times 10 to the second. How would you solve this problem? So, when coming about this problem, you can use FOIL, so you can just multiply this and then that and that, or there's just an easier way to do this. If you notice here, our exponents are different, but we have the same base, right? So what we can do, let's say we're going to write this in scientific notation, right? So whenever we're having this right here, we want these exponents to be the same. So we can do one other thing. We can move this forward once to get it to 2, or we can move this back once, right? So I'm just gonna move this back. I'm gonna move the decimal point from here to here. So that's just gonna change into 11 times 10 to the third, and then 1.2 times 10 to the third, right? Same exponents, right? Now, what we can do here is we can add these 11 plus 1.2. That turns into 12.2, right? Times the third. If we were to write this in scientific notation, however, we would have to move this back once to get that between 1 and 3. So that means that would turn into 1.22 times 10 to the power of 4. That is scientific notation. Alright, so that's really basic exponents. So just a quick review. Scientific notation, 1 through any number 1 through 10. 1 through 10, and it has to be a power of 10. It could be 10 to the power of x or 10 to the power of negative x. Right? Exponents rule. So whenever having, let's say we have xb plus, multiplied by c. I don't know, we can just make it anywhere. R, this would just, this is actually, my bad. Forgot. Multiplied by x. See? This would just equal x, b plus c. Right? Yeah, I'm just taking up variables. Remember, since if you notice right here, I have the same base. I have x as the base. However, exponents can change, you don't have to be the same. Right, so an example, we have 3 to the second times 3 to the 8th. This equals 3 to the 10th, because that is just 8 plus 2. Next, whenever we're dividing exponents, if you haven't already figured it out as I explained, it is just basically you're subtracting, right? Sorry, 10 to the third, because that is made up of 5 minus 2. However, if you would have something like this, maybe, you could do the same thing. 2 minus 8 equals negative 6. That means this would actually be 10 to the power of negative 6. Same base as always. The obvious. And then we're having this. And let's see, let's add a variable here. Actually, that's not, I don't want to overcomplicate things really. This, you're going to multiply the exponent so that this equals actually 2 to the 10th, because that is just 2 times 5. Alright, so that's basically all you need to know for exponents. I'm sure there's more rules. Yeah, so that's basically it. Just remember, whenever dividing, don't get confused. Like whenever you have like 10 to the negative 2 over 10 to, let's say, negative 8. Don't get confused. This actually does equal 10 to the 6. Why ask? Negative 2 minus, I can just put this in parentheses, minus negative 8. Right? That's just equals 6. Don't think that would equal negative 10 though. If this number is a negative, if this number is bigger than this number, and they're both negative, that means that has to be equal positive, right? So just don't get confused with negative numbers whenever doing that. That's basically all you need to know. I'm really sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I'll be making more videos ASAP because I've been busy studying, and yeah, even though it's summer. And I hope you guys have a great day, and always enjoy math.